we are just trying to put Ajax by using CSS and HTML plus your JavaScript. Okay, so which can be used both at the client side validations and as well as the server side validation. So nothing can be processed without using the XML HTTP request. Okay, so you can just think this XML HTTP request as either your servlet request or just a request. Okay, so here since the output will be in the form of XML data, we say it is a XML HTTP request. Okay, similarly, you would have done in servlet also, you have a servlet request and servlet response. Okay, where the output will be in the form of servlet request and response. Here we are talking in terms of XML. What is XML? Extensible markup language. So this means it is possible to define our own text in using XML. Now, why do we use this? Okay, so it provides an asynchronous communication between the client and the server. What is asynchronous? I told you in the previous class that it is possible to send and receive the multiple requests from the client and server without making any changes in the contents. What I mean to say is, suppose I want to have a fields like name, say email ID and the age. Now I just want to change only the email ID part. Okay, I want to change only the email ID part, and I don't want to change the name part and the age part. Now, if you are not using this Ajax, the entire content, say name, email ID, age, again it will be loaded as a request to a server. Again, entire contents will be refreshed. The consequence is that it takes a lot of time, and it will be a burden to a server, because my name and age I want to keep it constant. I don't want to change anything. I want to change only the email ID. So when I'm sending the request, only email ID changing that part only should go as a request to a server, to the processing, give back the result without changing the name and age part. So that is what I mean to say, the typical and literal meaning of asynchronous. Okay, what it does, it sends the data from the back from the client in the background process. So I have showcased here in my previous thing that, so you have an Ajax engine, and so some backend process will happen. Okay, so this will be done by the Ajax engineer. Okay, so it receives the data from the server, it updates the web page without reloading. That means entire contents of the application need not be reloaded. Okay, so that is the typical operations of the XML HTTP request. A very one simple question is, what is XML HTTP request? List the operations of the XML HTTP request. So this is one of the question. Next, this XML HTTP request can be used by JavaScript. I will show you the demonstration. It can be used your JScript. JScript is the external JavaScript. It can be used with VBScript and the other browsers, which can be used to transfer and manipulate XML data to and from a web server. So what is this server? It can be Apache Tomcat server. It can be a Glassfish server. It can be WebLogic server. It can be WebSphere, any server. So here you have a server. So how does the information pass to a server? It passes through the script. What script? It is a server-sided script. Since in the previous classes we have studied about PHP, let us restrict our discussions with respect to usage of Ajax with respect to PHP. Maybe if time permits, I will also try to give you the demonstration. This Ajax with JSP and Ajax with servlets. Okay, so what it does, it provides an independent channel between the web pages of client and the server. That means it provides a mechanism to send and receive the data, okay, through this Ajax engine, because we have an Ajax built in in the engine, okay, which is used to transfer the data between the client and the server. See, in normal cases, HTML was also doing the same thing, but it was not having the Ajax engine. Here we are using the Ajax engine because we want to change only that we want to do at the runtime without not reloading the entire contents of the page. Say, for example, if you take this page only, I just want to change this XML HTTP request to XML HTTP response. I just want to change only this word request with a response. So instead of me sending this as a request to a server and reloading all the contents again from the server, all the content in the sense again an object of XHTML, it performs following operations. So I don't want to reload the entire contents once more. I just want only to change only the response. So the classical web model will not provide this facility. Okay, Ajax only provides this kind of a facility. In order to make Ajax to provide this facility, so we use XML HTTP request object. Okay. So now the next question is, what are the different methods that can be used with the XML HTTP request? So there are a lot of methods which are available. So you need not use all the methods. Okay. So but open method is very much required. Open, send, response, and all those things can be used. So the question will be something like that. Uh, Explain the list of methods used in the XML HTTP request. Now, the first method is called as open method. Okay, so open method has got different syntaxes. Method and URL is one method. Method URL is async is one of the parameter. Then open method URL async username. Open method URL async username and password. See, last two methods can be used when there is an interactions with any kind of databases. Otherwise, this first two methods is sufficient. Okay, what is its method parameter? The first parameter in the open is, say, uh, method. The method parameter can have the get or post method, or head or put method, and delete method. This put and delete can be used in other kinds of applications such as web services or REST or JSON. Okay. So in different kinds of applications or the concepts, you can use put and delete. Okay. Uh, so when the request is being sent from the client or from the browser, either you have to use the get method or you have to use the post method. Okay. So get method in the URL, whatever you pass, that is visible. Okay. In post method, it is not visible. You know the typical difference between using the get and post method. Okay. Next method is what? URL is any of your URL like http/something.com. Okay. See, it's like whatever the URL that you write it in the action attribute of the body tag, the same URL can be written here. Okay. So suppose on clicking on my button, I have to extract some information from a server or I have to download a file. So that specific URL has to be written here. Okay. Next, uh, next is async parameter. Okay, so it specifies whether the request can be handled asynchronously or not. So it can take only two values, either true or it can be false. Okay, that means what? True means what? The script processing carries on after the send method without waiting for the response. See, what is the meaning of this? I send a request, say request one. I send request two. I send request three. I send a request four. So I'm sending four different requests to a server. So in the classical or typical web application, when I send one request, I have to wait I have to wait for the response, then send a request to, then I send a request three, then I send a request four. Here, I did not wait for the response for a request one, then send request two. Okay, so I can simultaneously send four requests without waiting for the response. Okay, so false means the script waits for the response before continuing the script processing. Okay, so yeah, async can take two parameters. Okay, one is true or it can take false. Okay, username is it's like your session. Okay, if you want to pass your username, you can pass the username, and username and password. The last two things can be used with typically with the database applications. Okay, the next method, the first method is only open method, which has got four different the syntax or structure. Second is get all response headers. So it returns a complete set of headers as a string. So there is a header format, HTTP header format, and HTTP response format. Okay, so when you are sending any request from the client, it will go as a HTTP request, which will have different parts of the header. So all those informations can be retrieved by using the get all response headers, like from which ID it has been sent. Okay, what is the type of the text it has been sent. Okay, whether it has been sent in the proper format or not. Okay, so like this, there are some 6 to 7 kind of parameters which are used. So if I want to get informations about all those things, then I can use get all response header. Okay. Now, if I want to know the value of the specified header, so I want to know at what time the server has sent a response, or at what time I have sent a request to a server. Okay, if only that time is the only issue, then I can know that. If I want to know the IP address of the system from where the request has been sent, I can only fetch that. Okay, only specific parametric value if I want to fetch, so I can use get response header. Next, the typical method says send. We send the get request. So when I'm using uh, send method, okay, I can use uh, this when I'm using send. Okay, it sends the get request. When I want to use post, I use send string. Then when I want to cancel the current request being sent to the process, I can do that. So what happens if you are using this say abort method, a request would have been sent, but you don't want to get response, you want to stop it. Okay, you can send this abort method, okay, so which is used to cancel the current request. Okay, so open, get or response headers, get response header, send string abort. These are the six different methods used in XML request header. Okay. Next, what are the properties? There are 6 properties. What are the properties of XML HTTP request? On ready state change. Okay, so it's an event handler. Okay, for an event that fires at every state change. So what are the typical events that I can do it? I can click, I can scroll, I can do on mouse over. Okay, whatever the the event things that you do in typical JavaScript. So all those things can be done with on ready state change, which will basically will be assigned to some function. Okay, next you have a next method called the ready state, okay, which defines the current state of the XML HTTP request. See here, it will take the different kinds of values. See, every request and response will have a typical life cycle. Like how there is a life cycle of a thread in Java, similarly, there is a life cycle here also. Okay, for operating system also you have, for a process you have a life cycle. So similarly, you have a life cycle here also. Okay, when the status of the request is 0, I will show you the demonstrations. You can understand how it is being implemented. Okay, so when the request is being made ready, okay, to change to a server, to send it to a server, it will take 5 different values. When the ready state is 0, that means the request is not initialized. Request is there, but it is not being initialized. Okay, because there is no value for that request. So if the ready state changes to 1, okay, the request has been set up. Okay, that means a groundwork has been done to send a request. Okay, request is not yet been sent. Now, if the ready state value is say 2, the request has been sent. That means it has left the browser, okay, and it will go to a server. Okay, so the request has been left from the specific browser. So that is the meaning. Next, the request, if the ready state value is 3, that means the request in the process. That means um, the request is in Ajax engine. So that means it is trying to reach to a server. Server. I mean to say, in the server you might have a server scripting language to process that value. Okay, and you have a server to give the results. Okay, so the request in the server-sided processing. Once that is done, okay, the response has to come back to a client or say user interface or a browser. So if the complete response has come to a user interface, then you say ready state is 4. That means 4 means the request has gone through the various stages. It has gone to the server for processing the required results. Okay, next, response text. So I don't want the information to be in the XML format. I want to just display the text as a normal text. Okay, so if you write it in the methods a response text, it returns the response as a string. So if you say response XML, you see it returns the response as an XML here. So here I have showcased one thing, XML data. So this is a request, this is a response. So you can think like second is the second stage is HTTP request and the fifth stage is HTTP response. This response can be a XML data or normal text data. So if I want to return only the text data, so I can have response text. So if I want to have the output in the XML format, okay, I can go for response XML. Next you have a status which returns the state as a number. Okay, 404 means not found, 200 is say okay. Okay, you have see there are different kinds of the error codes in web applications, 401, 402, 403, 405, 406. Okay, so that kind of a statement, that value, okay, that value will be displayed, not the text, it's only value. You would have seen in many cases like HTTP 404, okay, HTTP 403, 401, something like that. Okay, so so status will display only the number, and the status text will display the text. So returns status as a string, returns the status as number. So you know the difference between status and status text. Okay, so one will return the number, the other will return the string. See, 404 means not found. So if you are using this method, it will display 404, but an end user cannot know what is 404. Okay, so if you display this status as a string by using a status text property, then instead of 404, it will display not found. Okay, so these are the things. Okay, so any clarifications here? Anybody?
No, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so before I proceed further, you should know what is an XML request, HTTP XML request, and list the 3 operations. Next is explain the methods used in XML HTTP request, and describe the XML HTTP properties. So these are the 3 questions that you should be aware of. Okay, next we'll go to a simple examples. Okay, okay. Now, uh, all the Ajax programs will have a typical XML file, and this Ajax can be integrated with PHP. You can also have inbuilt with CSS, can also have inbuilt with JavaScript also. Now I will write this program and save with XML. Save with .html. All these programs have has to be saved with .html programs. Okay. Now I have a simple HTML page. It's a very simple demonstration of a one simple Ajax program. Okay. Now I have a typical HTML structure. I have a ID. Okay. So I call it as a demo. Okay. So I have a simple text. I have a p tag. So I have a button. Okay. So button type is equal to button. On click, it's a JavaScript function. Okay. Load document is the name of the function. Okay. And change the content. Okay. The first step here is you should have some event handler. Okay. So when I click on something, something should happen. So I have a button. Uh, okay. So I have an XML request object. When I run my program, you can see this is what it describes. Okay, you have XML request object that Ajax changes text, change content. Okay, you have only this. Okay, so this is a button. Change content is a button. Okay, so now this will not change. This will let Ajax change this text. This will not get reloaded. Okay, now we'll see what is the output, how it comes. Now I have a script. Okay, so a function is a keyword used in JavaScript. I'm loading that loading that function. Okay, and these four things will define what is the function. The first thing is, after having the event, you have to create an object of the XML request object. So variable an object, I call this as XML HTTP object equal to new this one. So I mean to say I'm creating the instance. Okay, I'm creating the instance. Okay, that means object is created. Now I'm using the configuration of the uh, XHTTP object. So I use a property which I showcased it now. I think I have to showcase one more thing before I proceed. Uh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Now what is happening? I'm assigning a function to a change. Okay. Okay. I'm assigning a function to a change. Okay. Now if this dot object is equal to 4, that means what? If ready state, if it is equal to 4, what is 4 here? That means request has completed. If you see here, the ready state, the request is completed. That means I want to make sure that whatever request I'm doing it, okay, what is the request? What is that request? When I'm clicking on a button, something should happen. Okay, that is a request. Okay, if that is a function which is being used, and this dot status is 200, that means it is okay. If this is the condition, one is request should be completed in all the ways. Okay, and the status of that is at 200. What do you mean by 200 here? 200 means the status is okay. Okay, that means entire information is correctly reached has been reached to a server. Okay, and it is being processed properly. If this is done, okay, then document dot get element ID say demo. Okay, so what is this demo? Demo is this. Okay, dot inner HTML. Okay, you know what is the inner HTML, which are used in the JavaScript. So which is used to get and set the HTML contents. within that specific element. What is it within the specific element? So within the say p tag. Okay, so this dot response text. Okay, response text is what? It is a property. See here I have showcased it. It is a response text. Okay, so returns the response as a string. It's not an XML data. It's a simple text which will be in the form of string to be displayed. Okay. Next, XML. Okay, so I'm just closing the function. No, I'm just closing this function here, and I'm closing this load doc. Okay, this function that you're seeing in blue color is a keyword. Next, what should happen? Okay, what should happen? I'm clicking on, clicking is one request. Okay, which will happen at a client side. Now it has to open. Okay, object dot method name. What is that method name? I have used a method called as open here. So you can see here you have open method URL, open method URL sync. Okay, so there are different kinds of methods. So I'm using the open method here. Open URL and async. Okay, so method I told you it is a get or the post method, correct? So method can take get or the post method. So I'm using the get. Okay. Next URL. URL is what? Demo.txt file. It contains some kind of a file. Okay. My objective is when I click on the change content button. Okay. So it should read the file in that text. Okay, and display the value in the browser. Okay, so demo.txt, whatever the contents that are there in the demo.txt file, it has to extract and it has to display. So async true. Okay, I have to get the response without waiting. That means you can see here, you can see here there are two requests which are happening. I'm clicking on a button. Okay, it's a change content button, and I'm also getting the information, the demo.txt. Okay, so I'm making true. What is this true means? Okay, so I need not wait till the response is received. So true means that a script processing carries on after the send method without waiting for a response. That means you carry on the process of doing the things. Next, http dot send method. Okay, send method, since I'm using get method, I told you what is that send here. Okay, the send methods will send the informations from the browser. Okay, go to a specific server, get the informations and display it. So you please remember, in this program, since it's a standalone application, standalone program, both client and the server remain same. In my demo.txt only, in my folder only, I have put this exp1.html and demo.txt in the same file. Okay, hence it is not going to server to do any, the server sided, the processing here. It is only typical, simple client side program. Okay, http dot send. So I'm doing the clicking on the button, and also I'm reading the contents of this file called as demo.txt. See, when you run this program, actually you can see this is how the output would, I mean to say, when you run the program, this is how the output would be. Okay, when you click on the contents, okay, when you actually click on the contents, you can see the output will be like this. Okay, so you can see Ajax is a programming language. Ajax is a technique for accessing in the web page. Ajax is asynchronous and JavaScript and XML. That means in a file called as demo.txt file, I have this. See, if you see this thing, let Ajax change this request is one text. Okay, and see, this remains constant. This is not changing. Only this part. When I'm clicking on these things, okay, so it can see that information has gone. I have not hidden. So that is replaced with this specific text. Okay. So when I'm clicking on this, okay, this demo is replaced. See, it has the information called as let Ajax change this text. That was the information what it was having. Now I have replaced. Okay, I want to change only that part of the text. Okay, and replace with a value called as that value which is there in the demo.text. So demo.text has got some text, so it will get replaced, and this is the kind of output that you are seeing. So before when I start my program, so this is the information or display what you see. Okay, so once I click on a button called as change content button, so I can see this is the specific output. Okay, so any clarifications here? Anybody has any clarifications?
No, sir. No clarification.
Okay, so you should know this load doc function on ready state and status. This is a very simple example to demonstrate it. Okay. Okay, so I will wind up the class today. Okay, so we'll see more examples in the next class. Okay, the takeaway is this: the three questions what I have told you. So on simple demonstration of Ajax program. Clear? These are the four questions of the today's class. This is the takeaway. We'll wind up with the meeting. Before that, just I wanted to tell you that uh, all your MCQ will be evaluated, and I will be sharing the results at the end of the day. Okay, maybe by evening I will just put it in the Google Classroom so you can see the result. Okay. So actually the marks was for 30 and it has been reduced to 10. So most of 98, 99% of the students have got more than 7. Maybe one or two students have got uh, with respect to this approximately around 6 out of 10. Most of them have got 7, 8 like that. Okay, so you can just see the output. Okay, I will be sharing the document with you by evening. Okay.
Yes, sir.